Right, so I've been thinking about something for a while, a number of weeks, months even, and I've never really spent enough time to think how I'm gonna verbalize this. But seeing as I'm kind of stuck in traffic on a Monday morning en route to work, I thought to myself, why not think out loud? Brendan Schaub, he gets a lot of hate online, a lot of hate, and don't get me wrong, I understand, and if I'm honest, I agree with some of the reasons people disrespect or dislike his opinion on matters. If you go back to when I first started doing YouTube, I did a lot of videos about boxing, and one of the things that really used to grind my gears about Brendan Schaub was his opinion, or the lack of knowledge behind his opinion when he talked boxing. When he was sharing his opinion on his platforms about Eddie Hearn, about Anthony Joshua, about Deontay Wilder, about Tyson Fury. There was times when he was giving his thoughts about Mikey Garcia against Errol Spence, and you could tell by the way he shared his opinion, there was a distinct lack of knowledge or understanding about certain situations and the predicament the heavyweight division was in at the time, or the danger that Mikey Garcia faced stepping up to face Errol Spence. And it kind of put me off Brendan Schaub, if I'm honest. I used to listen to Below the Belt. I think it started off being called Big Brown Breakdown, and as a fan of Fighter and the Kid, T-Fat K, naturally there's a new podcast with one of the guys on it. I listened to it, and as time progressed, slowly I started tuning out of that show, just because his opinion and his lack of understanding was just something I didn't want to make time for in my weekly podcast consumption. I listened to so many different things. I thought to myself, I don't really need to listen to this, because the guy that's talking, I'm not learning anything new, I'm not hearing a perspective that I respect. So I decided I'm just not going to listen to this anymore. The reason I'm making this video is that was how I dealt with my my feelings towards Brendan Schaub and his opinions. I didn't agree with I don't mind not agreeing with something that someone has said, so long as I can understand the person's reasoning. Where I have trouble is when I don't agree with what you're saying, and your lack of knowledge has exposed the fact that your opinion isn't based in any form of fact. So this goes back to what I was talking about with Brendan Schaub when he was sharing his opinion about the heavyweight division in boxing, and how he was telling us that Eddie Hearn is the worst promoter in the world, and he's holding Anthony Joshua back, and Anthony Joshua don't want the big fights and stuff. And me being a guy that listens to everything that everyone says when it comes to boxing, especially the heavyweight division, I can live with not agreeing with him, but I couldn't live with the fact that the stuff that he was saying just simply wasn't true. So like I said, I tuned out. I stopped paying attention to what he had to say. So let me go back again. The reason I'm making this video is a couple of months ago I joined Reddit, and the reason I joined Reddit is I thought to myself, let me start trying to get involved in conversations with people about MMA, try to get involved in some form of community, so that I've got someone to go back and forth with, and it kind of hopefully would give me inspiration to make videos, because I kind of found myself getting stuck in this weird kind of circle of just making videos about events and fights. And I've always said my strong point isn't breaking down a fight. If you want to hear someone break down a fight, listen to someone else, man. Listen to Jimmy Smith's show, listen to Hardy, Full Reptile Radio, listen to Joe Rogan when he has the MMA show. Do you know what I mean? Listen to people that actually know what they're talking about, that have actually put on a try not to swear these days. Try to listen to someone that has actually been there and done that. Don't listen to me sat here with my glasses on driving to work. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, as I joined Reddit, I joined the Fighter and the Kid Reddit, whatever it's called, Reddit team or community, whatever the right word for that page is. And then on my phone, Reddit started like sending me notifications. This post is popular. This post is popular, and 99% of the posts that I've seen on the Fighter and the Kid Reddit are literally people hating on Brendan Schaub. And it's not hating that, why is he saying this? Like, I don't agree with his opinion. It's more hating on Brendan Schaub at a really like deep rooted personal level. Like, going at his missus and his kids and like speculating about his misdemeanors within their relation, like, you know, like things that you'd think to yourself, hold on a minute, you're a grown man here. Well, why are you sitting online posting about this? Like, why do you hate this man this much for you to sit here and edit a video about Brendan Schaub? And like there's this one guy that posts stuff, right, on the internet, on YouTube, and he'll like post like someone saying something, someone taking shots at Brendan Schaub, or something embarrassing happening to Brendan Schaub. And let's look, Brendan Schaub has like the Fighter and the Kid twice a week. He will have his own show. He will have King and the Sting. He will appear on other, like, there's literally hours and hours and hours of content that he's involved in on a weekly basis that is on YouTube. And there's this one guy that sits there, watches everything, and then he'll like post the video of someone, and it's not even just Brendan Schaub, it's other people's, but like what's it called, Believe You Me, Luis Gomez, I think his name is, and Bisping, and they'll like do a like little like slice shot at Brendan Schaub, and he'll post it up being like, "Hey guys, I found this real funny, man. he's just talking about Brendan Schaub," and I'm sitting there thinking, bruv, haven't you got something better to do? You're sitting here editing a video together just to take digs at Brendan Schaub. Like, come on, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just found it weird. Like, I can appreciate if he said something and you send a tweet saying, nah, I don't agree with this because of X, Y, and Z. But there's this like weird sort of community online at the moment that all they want to do is anything that Brendan Schaub does is throw shade, as the kids say. Like, I appreciate, I'm not the biggest fan of his stand-up comedy. I haven't really seen much of it. I watched his what's it called? There's this thing on Comedy Central where it was like Ari Shafir had this show, and you go out there and you tell like an embarrassing story and that was from years ago. But like, I can appreciate that. Fair enough, he might not be the best comedian in the world. I can appreciate that his Comedy Hour special had like really low IMDb rating, and then like they had companies saying give it a good rating and we'll give you a discount and stuff like that. Look, I get all that, and I get that's kind of like foul play and whatnot, And I get he was in way over his head, he was out of his depths when he done his comedy special. But one thing that I always hold on to is we're fans of this sport. We're fans of MMA. And there aren't many stories where people retire and they actually exceed whatever level of kind of financial security or fame or success that they had as a fighter. He's actually one of the positive stories to come out of MMA, combat sports in general. The amount of fighters that hang up their gloves and a year or two later end up making a comeback because they just don't know what to do with themselves. And I'm not just talking about money, I'm just talking about over here mental health. Like they just can't function without having the structure of, all right, I've got an 8-week training camp and then I'm going to go and fight so and so. Like they just don't know how to function in the real world without having a fight to look forward to. And it's like one of the most dangerous endeavors ever. Like you're damaging yourself every time you step in there. He's one of the good stories to come out of the sport. And yeah, all right, I don't watch his podcast anymore. I don't pay attention to Big Brown Breakdown. I never watched him breaking down Conor McGregor's fight against Cerrone with Luke Thomas. Like I don't consume it. But I don't let the fact that I don't agree with what he's saying consume me. And there's a lot of people online, it seems like, and maybe it's just me, maybe it's just a handful of people, but because I keep getting notifications on my phone, I think like, blimey, there's a lot of people talking about Brendan Schaub. I just find it weird. Like, get a hobby, man. Do you know what I mean? Just get out of the house. It's just, I mean, it's just a weird, it's fascinating to me. It's fascinating to me that there are people in this world that spend their time looking at another man to see where he slips up, to see where he says something stupid, to see where he says something that you don't agree with, so you can edit a video together and post it on Reddit. Don't get me wrong, he makes it easy for people to make these videos because on a regular basis he will say something you think, hold on a minute, now that's not right. He contradicts himself a lot, yes, I get that. His opinions are easily swayed, I get that. He regurgitates other people's take on a fight, a situation, a scenario, blah 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 blah. But at the base of what he is at the moment, you got to remember how he got here. And he genuinely stood up for himself against the machine that was the UFC. And he stood up against this Reebok deal. He stood up against Dana White. He stood up for the fact that he was getting money with sponsorship. And he took a stand. And it takes a lot of bottle to take a stand in that situation. And I still listen and I still watch The Fighter and the Kid. I still enjoy it. There's very rarely a show that I miss. And I tell you what, just this week they posted a show with Bert Kreischer, Brian Callen and some guest. I didn't watch it because Brendan Schaub wasn't on it. So, gotta stay hydrated, you know. So yeah, like, the reason I'm making this video is I just find it weird that he gets this level of hate. Everyone in the spotlight, people like Luke Thomas, I see get hate. Ariel Helwani gets hate. But they get hate for what they do online. Whereas, you know, their shows, etc. But I feel like Brendan Schaub, the hate that he gets is a lot more deeper rooted, more visceral, like from the gut, and I don't understand it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe just because I haven't joined the Ariel Helwani Reddit or the Luke Thomas Reddit, maybe they all get it, and I'm just seeing what Brendan Schaub gets. But irrespective of who you are, this level of hate, whoever you are that posts these videos and this stuff, blimey, you wanna grow up a little bit. Anyway, that's my take on this on a Monday morning. I'll catch you guys next time. Please, if you've enjoyed the video, like it, share it with a friend, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you guys on my next journey to work.